à Madame la Présidente de la Commission européenne, Madame Ursula von der Leyen. Chère Ursula, merci beaucoup d'être avec nous cet après-midi sur la stratégie européenne de la protection de la biodiversité, de la promotion de l'agroécologie et de la sécurité alimentaire.
Merci, Monsieur le Président, cher Emmanuel, dear friends. I'm delighted to be with you. And it is fitting that we start this new year with a One Planet Summit in Paris, talking about biodiversity, because I believe 2021 will be the year when the world turns over a new leaf for our planet. In a few months, the world will come together in Kunming. And this COP15 for nature must be like the COP21 was for climate. And we need a Paris-style agreement to go with it.
On n'entend pas l'intervention de Madame la Présidente.
Global and game-changing. The stakes could not be higher, and the imperative act could not be more compelling. This is about sustainable development, because thriving biodiversity can ensure access to food, water, and energy for billions of people. This is about equality, because we know that the effects of nature loss disproportionately affect poorer and indigenous communities. This is about our security, because conflicts explode when more people grapple for less natural resources. And this is about our quality of life, because we need nature in our lives for our physical and mental health. We all know the scale and the urgency of the task ahead of us this year, and we see the changes in our everyday lives, from more concrete blocks to less wilderness and wildlife, to increasing temperatures and extreme weather. And these worrying changes are different sides of the same coin. In fact, they mutually reinforce each other. When we lose forests, we don't just lose green space or natural habitat. We lose a key ally in our fight against climate change. When temperatures rise and nature disappears, we suffer more natural disasters and zoonotic diseases. We have spoken a lot about these links between biodiversity loss and COVID. But this is not the first, last, or even most telling example. Think of how one of the deadliest outbreaks of Ebola is thought to have started, with a young boy playing next to a tree in a remote village in Guinea, a tree that had been infested by bats who had been pushed towards the village because 80% of forests in the region had been destroyed. And we know the tragic repercussions this had. And if we don't urgently act to protect our nature, we may already be at the beginning of an era of pandemics. But we can do something about it. It needs concerted global action and local sustainable development. And just as we cooperate for our one planet, we need together for our one health. And this is why we will prioritize research on One Health across Horizon Europe. And let me be clear, we will invest several hundred million euros over the next 4 years for research on biodiversity, animal health, emerging diseases, and much more. It is why we will work closely with our international partners on research in the spirit of the Présode initiative launched by France and member states, which the European Commission welcomes. And it is also why we will bolster and sponsor initiatives like the African-led Great Green Wall. I would like to congratulate the African Union and all of the partners involved for bringing a decades-old dream to life. We have already seen the difference it can make, stretching from Senegal in the west to Djibouti in the east. It has helped restore 15 million hectares of degraded land in Ethiopia and supported farmers in Niger to produce enough grain to feed an extra 2.5 million people a year. And this is why I say today, we will mobilize even more than the 700 million euros per year already raised for the Great Green Wall project. The more partners and the more member states join and invest, the more we can do. And this is the spirit of Team Europe, and I am determined that we can do so much more working with our African partners. This shows that turning over a new leaf for nature all comes down to local action and global ambition. And this is why the European Green Deal, we are stepping up our own action and ambition, both locally and globally. Our new biodiversity and farm-to-fork strategies will lead the way. They set out the EU's ambitions to protect indeed 30% of land and sea areas in Europe and around the world. They will help us restore damaged rivers and plant 3 billion trees by 2030. They will bring help and bring back to pollinators, to agricultural lands, and reduce the use and risk of harmful pesticides. And the new, greener common agricultural policy will help us protect livelihoods and food security while we protect our nature and our climate. But we know we need to do more. Being a major economy and a trading superpower comes with responsibilities. And it is our duty to ensure that our single market does not drive deforestation in local communities and other parts of the world. And this is why, later this year, we will propose new legislation to minimize the risk of products linked to global deforestation being placed on the European market. So Europe is ready to lead the way, and I hope others will join us in that effort. Dear friends, this sums up the EU's approach in this historic year for nature. We will lead by ambition and action at home, and we will do everything we can to bring as many partners on board with us. This is why we will work to broker an ambitious agreement in Kunming, and it is why we will support initiatives like the Great Green Wall. Let's make sure that we turn over this new leaf together. Thanks very much to all the participants, and thanks very much to you, Mr. President, cher Emmanuel.
Merci beaucoup, Ursula. Merci pour ces engagements. Merci aussi pour Présode. Nous avons bien noté le soutien. Nous y reviendrons tout à l'heure, et je pense que l'engagement de la Commission et de l'Union européenne est très important aussi sur ce sujet. Comme tu l'as parfaitement dit, l'enjeu pour réussir ce combat pour l'agroécologie et pour réconcilier les agendas biodiversité et sécurité alimentaire a une très forte dimension euro-africaine.